Yeah, so we're a little light on folks today. So it's going to be more of a side adventure. But the recap is, as we were getting away from that GSS research lab with the bioweapon data that we managed to fully decrypt and recover, GSS cruiser followed us. There were some shenanigans and some engine failures and some unkind words said and some unkind shots fired. But we crippled the ship and got away from them. And now we've landed at the planet of Emra's parents are apparently in charge of, or at least bigwigs in. I'm not sure of the particulars there. I'm sure we'll find out later. And we've been invited to dinner with them. But that's later tonight, and a lot of the characters are going to be busy fixing up the ship. So Kyra, San, and Emra will be working on repairs while Warren and Sam get up to some shenanigans here.
So, you brought dice, right?
I have dice.
That's fantastic.
I have enough to share.
Thank you. Because I'm incompetent, apparently.
Bad RPGer.
Where are my other
I need
game
to
bag?
find my.
I need to just get 2 bags.
I have the 40k dice somewhere. Just dump them all on the table.
Yeah. That's what we need. 36 dice.
That's exactly what we need.
36 d6. May I?
Yeah. I can't remember if that was the good one or the bad one. I think this.
I'm rolling them. They're always the bad ones.
Okay. This might be the quarantine bag. No, this was the good. These are the good ones.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got your good dice.
All right, so we're gonna take it to where Emra's father was. Hey, come to dinner, blah blah blah. So she's saying her hellos. She said she recognized 2 of the 3 people that walked out like this long catwalk thing to the landing pad to meet you guys. So with that, like, the majority of your group start walking back with Emra, whatever. So then there was her father, the governor, right? He's in charge of the entire planet, right? Agricultural head of this planet. So
all the agriculture is like subterranean, right?
Subterranean. So when you guys flew in, you saw this like I said before, like this massive crater, but with like a door over it that you sort of descended into. When you came in, you saw thousands of these from horizon to horizon. So they're just covering the surface of the planet. And then so next to him was his lieutenant. What do you say? His chief lieutenant. So he's going to be the chief lieutenant of finance and acquisition. And then there was someone else, but he didn't know who she was. So we'll start off with, under her gray cloak and hood, you can make out the regalia of an officer of the Star Mines. She stares at Sam intently. Your eyes meet, and there's instant recognition. She says, "Doc?"
Cinny? Oh, wait. No, it wouldn't be that now. What do you go by now?
So with that question, I write down a name because I will forget. You hear a faint hum above your heads, and then an explosion, and then another explosion. So this is like maybe a mile above your heads where those doors are, and you came down, and so you're standing on this platform, this not dock, but arrival pad or whatever, with that long catwalk that goes to that bubble of the governor's estate. So below the dock is just fields of crops and stuff. In the distance, like as far as you can see, it's just filled with crops. There's harvesters going on. There's other bubbles here and there in the distance, and there's massive like these pylons that are just holding up the main structure of the earth above. So you see these explosions just go off above your heads. and that faint hum.
Like on the roof of the cavern?
So like the doors are above your heads and they're open just as much as to let your ship through. And just below that and in between, there's just like pops of explosions. Okay?
So I remember there were several levels of...
yeah, it's just sort of like, picture like a big giant, like a mile thick door that opens, right? And then underneath that door are just like sort of expanding rings of like, well, basically just the city. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then now you're at the floor.
So was
subterranean floor.
Was it above the 1 mile thick?
It's like in between, and then some are lower.
Okay.
So as you guys look up, shrapnel just starts raining down on you guys. A hand lands at your feet.
Face, right hand or left hand?
Right hand.
I don't remember which one he lost. It's in my notes somewhere.
Left, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bag it.
There you go.
You can always use an extra, I mean.
So you hear Lobos yell, and he starts making a beeline for his estate. And then all of a sudden on the catwalk in between you and the governor's party and the rest of your crew just is a thud.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the doors close above you. And you hear just off your left, lower, it's about 50 feet lower, there's another thud. And then there's another thud behind you. You don't see anything except for the massive dent about 25 feet wide in the catwalk in front of you.
Okay. So these are chunks of like a... Are we to surmise this is like a
So
DSS
when you
ship
look
that
at
was
these
trying to
things,
follow us?
when you look at these things, you see sort of shimmering the governor and the rest of your crew,
mm-hmm.
sort of shimmering. Like there's something in between you and them.
I think it's the cloaked behemoth guys is what my...
Can we try to figure out what the shimmering is?
Well, you figure it out very quickly when the door opens.
Okay.
So, in between you and the rest of your crew is this drop ship, more for better lack of a word.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it open, right? And they go out and they make a beeline for the governor and the rest of your party.
Just an armed group?
An armed group, yeah. Yep, they take them down pretty easily, down as far as apprehend them.
Okay.
And you see them make their way to the estate. The soldiers, you surmise that the soldiers that landed off of the catwalk,
mm-hmm.
that are exiting in the field below you, missed their target, and they're just sort of down there.
Okay.
And then there was that thud behind you too.
Okay, so those are like landing craft,
Yeah.
or high-speed landing craft.
Mm-hmm.
And by their markings, are they GSS? Or...
It's stealth at the moment, so
Ooh.
you just see
Ooh.
you just see the occupants you just saw the occupants in front of you exit and go after the.
How many people got off the dropship? Did we see how many folks went to go get the rest of the crew?
You would say between 10 and 20. It was hard to tell.
Okay.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
So the sound we heard behind us, if we turn to look at that, what do we see?
It's just a. It's still cloaked. It's hard to tell.
So there was something. There's something there, but it's cloaked.
Yeah. But you can see. So behind you is your ship,
mm-hmm.
right? Just sort of in the center of that
Yep.
landing pad, and then sort of behind it and to the right was that thud. You can see a dent.
Okay. Well,
If
I'm gonna blast
So
this thing that's there.
You and Warren and Sydney
Mm-hmm.
are you guys are together.
Well, I'm gonna hold off on blasting for a second. Cindy, are these friends of yours?
I don't know who they are.
Okay, they're dead men then. I'm gonna try and blast the center of that cloaked mass that's in the middle of that dent behind us.
Okay.
With Old Painless.
All right, go crazy.
And that was pretty shitty. It was a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, you shoot
These dice are bad.
Feel free to switch them up. There should be enough to rotate out.
The cloak disengages, right? And as it does, you see scorch marks and some ripped metal on the door of this thing. So you can tell that the door that they try to exit, it mechanically can't open because of the damage it suffered on its descent.
Yeah. So they're pinned down inside, but they're unharmed.
Yeah.
All right. And I assume they're trying to get out.
I'm gonna try to get into so the ship that we came here on, Outrageous Fortune, has
It's right there. Right
has weapons on it.
It does.
Are they pointed in the direction of this
Are
thing?
they Are they fixed? Well, I can never remember.
So how does your ship work? I think before you said like does it have like a door that you walk down a ramp on, or is it like a? I think you said the initial one we did. It has like this cargo platform that drops below it.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Yeah.
It has like 4 pylon landing struts, and then each of the smaller cargo bays has its own platform that descends down. One of them's got a big hole in it right now.
Yes, yeah.
But those normally descend down, and then there are platforms to the fore and aft of those that'll descend down that are just for people getting on and off.
Yeah. So the weapon that's on your ship, your shuttle Talon, whatever.
Okay.
Because
did we come down on Talon or?
Oh, sorry, Outrageous Fortune.
Yeah.
So it's not turreted, so it's just directional with the ship. So
Okay. That's
forward facing.
okay.
So not facing it though.
No.
Okay.
There's not room enough to maneuver it though, and I feel like I don't have anything on me.
We could try leveraging the situation of these guys being stuck in there to get some information out of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other way that we can basically ensure that they're not going to be able to break out of that, like parking the ship against the door or something like that, or.
We might try just threatening them with more shooting. If they're in a bad situation and they can't get around us.
I'll try to remote.
Yes.
I'll try to remotely access the landing shuttle too to see if there is any like security locks that I can entrap them in the
in their own thing. Okay. That would be interface, right? Yeah.
Could be good.
And that way we don't need to worry about them breaking out while we're.
So how are you doing it?
I have a computer kit.
Okay.
Is that
No, just narratively, like how.
Okay. I can try to. I see the general area of where the landing ship came down, so I'll try to get some cover from that. If there are boxes or crates or behind one of the pylon struts of Outrageous Fortune, that probably would be the better option. And I'll try to take out my computer kit and try to remotely access the landing shuttle.
Okay.
11, 13?
Yeah. What do you do to it? You have access to their system.
So I'm looking around. I'm gonna look for what's like what systems are online, what was damaged in the landing, and I'm gonna attempt to lock the if there's a way so if the landing if the door is disabled when it's in deployment mode and getting dropped to the ground, there should be some kind of mechanism to keep that in place so it doesn't open and spill out the precious contents cargo.
So as you're going through the dropships sort of systems, you can see an internal feed, and there's just goo on the ground
inside. Oh, so there's not anything in there anymore.
There's nothing in there anymore.
Okay.
They all, whatever the grav system just
Inertial dampeners failed,
exactly.
and it seems like they hit the ground like a meteor.
Impact.
Oh no.
Sucks to be those guys.
So I'll say I'll inform Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's enough of anything left in there to be much of a threat to us now. I think the more whatever landed down there, pointing to the crops below the platforms, poses a greater threat. And I'll try to pan the screen around so you can see.
Sam's gonna peer over at the screen and go, "Oh, yes, that's a mess. We're not getting any answers out of them."
The ones below, you can see they're making their way to basically the support structure of the dome that's at the end of on the other side of that ship that they're all going towards.
So they're a good distance away from us.
Yeah, now they are. Yep.
Maybe we want to pin them down so we can try to parlay and get some answers about what's going on.
So there's, counting them, there's about 17 of them.
Maybe we want to thin them down and then thin them out and then pin them down. So yeah, I think if we've got a raised position, goodly distance, this is like the perfect situation for me to bombard them and at least cut down on their numbers. I would hope. Yeah, I hope to God not. Okay, well that's an 8.
8, very good. So, yeah, describe what you do.
Okay, so it's not my best work ever. Mm-hmm. So, like ideally, the explosion from the initial shot would like vaporize half the squad on one side and get the others to move in the other direction of the second shot that's already on its way. But it doesn't quite go like that. I only get a few. They scatter more.
It doesn't. They do scatter, and in addition to that, one of your shots went astray and knocked out one of the supports to the catwalk in front of you. So basically, landing pad, giant ass circle, right?
Yep.
Think Destiny. You know what I mean? You know, like the circle thing that you end the mission on, right? So, but then there's that giant catwalk. So, your shot went a little right from where you were, and it hits one of those, and then that catwalk just starts going like that.
Okay. Is there anybody up on that?
No, there's just that dropship now, and everyone else who's been captured is now inside the estate.
Okay. All right. So we scattered them, sort of pinned them a bit, and we're fucking up the catwalk that'll get us into the estate when we want to go there. Do you want to try like getting onto their comms so that we can demand their surrender?
So I will. So looking, if I still have access to the dropship, I'm going to see if there's a way that it's able, if it's only meant for like deployment and dropping folks, or if there's a way for it to launch again after.
No, it's down. It can't move. Yeah.
So that means something. I would believe that another ship is probably going to come to retrieve them, and these people are going to be here.
As you're talking about this, and you're shooting off, those doors have closed completely. So now the entire space, there's no more natural light coming through that crack that you came down. It's just that artificial light from the dome.
I'm curious. Flavor it for me.
For
the light from the ceiling. Is it bright? Is it sort of dim? Is it more color shifted in one direction? I just want to,
I was thinking about that too, like because it's underground and it's providing light for the plants to grow.
So, Emra, when you guys came in, she actually described like what the light source was.
In excruciating detail, I'm sure.
Yes. And I believe it was a sort of a mirrors and a sort of natural light being reflected from the surface above.
I do remember saying that now.
In addition to that, these massive, both natural and man-made structures that support basically the surface of the planet. are covered in this bioluminescent film that's just also giving off this faint blue glow.
So it's like diffuse sunlight, but also with blue thrown in.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. You know, and I was thinking about this. Maybe the reason everybody lives in domes is because the atmosphere in here has higher than normal nitrogen to help all the plants grow. So, like, if you're out too long with a rebreather, you start getting nitrogen narcosis. I mean, it takes a while for that to go into effect.
Do you know that?
Sam would know that.
Okay, good.
I'll try to patch into using the network of the ship. See if I can patch into the comms to listen to them, to hear about, to try to. I'll listen for a couple minutes to try to get a plan on what they're going to do, and then I will.
No, you don't. You don't hear anything.
Okay.
So they're not transmitting anything to anybody
that you can hear.
Okay. So are we within shouting distance?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because you have that group below you that you shot at. Got a couple of them.
Yeah.
And they sort of scatter, but they're making their way up. And the other ones are just inside already.
Is the broken catwalk between us and them?
Yep. Yeah, it's still like passable. You just have that. You still have that. It's about, I don't know, 35 feet tall, 25 feet wide, and it's still stealth in front of you. You can sort of, as you move your head around, like the shimmer of
you
the
can kind of tell
around
where
it. You can sort of tell where it is.
Okay.
But there's enough side on either side to get by it.
Okay.
Was I able to tell the faction, like, who?
They're GSS.
Okay. I thought as much, but you know.
Are we able to infer anything about how serious this batch of lads are from their from the fact they came in stealth drop pods?
No more than you would the last group you encountered.
Okay. So I want to get a chance to get a few prisoners so we can figure out what their mission is and what their plan is, and maybe steal some of their comms so we can get on those. But I feel like we still need to thin them down more.
Yeah.
They're not stealth themselves now that they're outside their ships, right?
No. So, like, let's see. So let's say that right there, that you land. Let's say that was a flat surface. You landed on that. The dome is that right there, right, and that catwalk spans that distance, right. So a little bit closer to you, not quite in the middle, is where that dropship landed. That stealth, right. And on the ground, you have those people. They're already at the dome, working their way up inside of it. You know what I mean? So where the bag is where, like, you got 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
And you can't tell if they're dead, unconscious, or, you know, whatever.
We can check them for comms to see it.
Yeah, we could probably do that. I look around. I want to see what Cindy's doing.
She's just sort of standing there, like, what just happened?
I'm gonna toss her my shotgun and say, "You still keeping in shape?"
What are you doing here?
It's a long story. There's one of our friends is daughter of the governor, and this is a house call / lying low. That apparently didn't work out very well. It's a very long story that we will have a lot more time for after the bullets are done.
Okay. How do you know Cindy? Was she one of your rescuers, or was she?
I think she was one of the resistance fighters.
Okay.
Who, after the Star Mines pulled us off of Flynn's world and the failed resistance that Sam was involved in, she stuck around with them. She was grateful to them, and she sort of dug their philosophy and sort of committed to it.
Okay. Yeah, looking over her, you can tell that she's done well for herself.
Okay. Oh, so she's gone far in the organization then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, so just cover our back. We're going to try to, take someone alive so we can ask questions.
I'll do it, but why are they after you?
We stole some information. I don't know the particulars yet.
And I'll check the drop ship as we're running by for like spare like weapons and things like that to pick up.
So yeah, so as you're running by, the sort of the door to it's open, and you peek in, and there's like a whole bunch of sort of along the wall on the inside are a bunch of lockers that most of them have been opened up and are empty of whatever they took with them. But there's a couple that are still closed up, but you don't know what's inside.
I'll just say that I'm gonna grab something. I actually don't. I don't have weapons. Like I didn't take any weapons in my loadout. So
Okay.
I'll take a minute to poke around and see what's in there.
Okay. So, I mean, well, you go inside and it's basically a weapons locker on the side of the thing, and it's locked. You can't get into it. So, what are you gonna do?
Are there parts of it? Is it like completely, like mechanical, or is it computerized at all?
I mean, you don't see a physical lock, so you would assume it'd be computerized.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to open it up then.
It looks.
Oh, 8.
8. Yep. You get it open, and
Great.
there are 6 laser rifles just waiting to be taken.
I'll hold one out to you guys to see if you're interested in grabbing one. I'll take one.
Well, if Cindy's going to take a laser rifle, I'll take my shotgun back from her.
Okay.
She says, good luck using that.
The laser rifle?
Yeah. She says, good luck using that. Those are printed for the people in that ship.
Oh, like biometric locks or something?
Yeah.
Oh, can I try to bypass it somehow? Like,
Yes, you can.
okay. 11.
11. Okay, well, yeah, you do it. You bypass its lock. It takes you a couple minutes, though. So you've been sitting there for about 6, 7 minutes. But...
Okay. I can tell you guys to go on without me if I get the impression it's going to take a bit.
Yeah, I think we'd do that. I just want Cindy to cover my back.
Okay.
And I'll keep laying down fire with Old Painless, trying to thin them out as much as I can without collapsing anything that we're standing on directly.
Yep.
So would that just be open fire?
Yeah, and there's only a couple left on the ground. Most of them are either in the structure that proceeds up to the dome, and the rest are not unseen.
I want to try and target the guys that are approaching the dome. I don't want them reinforcing the ones that already went in there. And I want to cut the other ones off from that group.
The guys that are on the ground?
I want to cut the guys that are on the ground off from the guys that went into the estate, because I assume they're fortifying that position if they're cut off from reinforcements.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm going to open fire on the guys in between. And that's a 10.
Sweet. Tell me how you obliterate them.
So, I think there's a the obvious stairway from the area below up on the catwalks that lead to the estate. They the ones that are making their way up, I target the farthest forward ones, or the ones that are highest up on this stairway, and they get shredded, and then the stairs start collapsing down on the ones that are only part way up.
Very good.
So it leaves the ones that are still on the ground, coughing in the midst of the dust and rubble, trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Nice. So the ones that are in the dust and rubble, some are not as beat up as you would hoped them to be. So roll a brace for impact.
Okay. Yeah, I have taken a lot of shots without getting any fire back yet. All right,
so they're using the rubble of the stairs and sort of the supporting pylons as cover.
Okay. Oh wow! So that's a 15. So
holy shiza.
-2 to severity.
Well, yeah. No, you're good.
Okay.
You get. Yeah. Nothing hits you.
Okay. Cool.
So as far as you get you have a class 1 two-handed close fire laser rifle.
I saw that. Yeah, I was looking down the I was copying down the stats over
Sweet.
So okay, yeah, I'll trot off in the direction that I saw Sam and Cinna go, and cautiously follow after them.
All right. So at this point, there's the group that's on the ground underneath the dome that was firing on you, but missed completely, and everyone else is inside.
Okay. So I think this is where we try and get them to surrender. So
I'll check the guys. So the guys that were down, I'll look over the.
So you're up on the catwalk and they're down on the ground.
yeah, so the only dead guys that are up here are locked inside the pod where they were all liquefied.
How far down is the
About 50 feet.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's far enough that they can hear a high-pitched German guy yelling, "Cease fire! Cease fire! We just want to talk!"
Yeah, they just continue shooting at you.
I said cease fire! And then I return fire.
I'll also return fire.
Okay. So yeah, why don't you roll for whatchamacallit, open fire? Yeah.
And then is that metal or is it? I cannot remember.
Yeah, it'll be open fire plus metal.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're like at point blank range or really really close, it's plus physique.
Okay.
But since we're at a distance, it's metal. 10.
7.
They are wiped out.
All dead?
They are. Well, as far as you can tell, you are not getting shot at anymore.
Okay.
You have taken control of the situation.
Okay. All right. Do we have a good way to get down there to try and check on?
It sounds like as we get closer to the dome, it sounds like there's some way that they got up to get into the dome. So presumably,
yeah. So like dome, and then they're sort of in the support structure stairwell that's underneath.
Okay.
So
the
catwalk you're on just goes like right to a door.
Is there enough? So there's enough infrastructure left there that we could get down.
Oh. So the catwalk just goes right to the dome, right?
Okay.
And then sort of like at the door that you see in front of you is sort of railings on either side of this catwalk you're on, and then it just drops off, and that support structure is sort of underneath.
Okay. Currently, we're not under fire. So maybe what we want to do is we want to go back to the Outrageous Fortune and take Talon down there.
Yeah, I feel like
it's a little circuitous, but it gets us where we're going.
And not just that, it also gives us the upper hand in firepower if they come out and they have small arms and stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our time. We're not going to launch an assault on the estate. We want to get down there, see if we can pull any survivors out and get some answers.
All right.
Or at the very least, get on their communications frequency.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So you get into your cargo bay, your launch bay, and get into Talon, and sort of maneuver your way out. And you're just gonna go up to and land.
Yeah, we're gonna land close to the last group that was annihilated there to see if we can pull any survivors out.
Okay. And sure, it doesn't require any rolls because you're just basically landing 50 feet below you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you exit the ship, are you doing anything with the ship? Are you just gonna have it sit there, or?
Do you want to stay in the ship so
Yeah,
that you're on the main gun there?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So you're in the pilot seat because that ship only also just shoots straight forward, so you're sort of covering him with that. As you walk up, you just see twisted metal. That whole stairway is just like completely collapsed into the dirt below it, and there's some bodies strewn about here and there, and some of them you can tell are unconscious but breathing, and there's one who's just has this sort of like twisted steel going through his torso, sticking up, but he's conscious and just bleeding from his mouth.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure he's disarmed first, and then
yeah, he can. He's awake, but he can't. He's not moving. He has no weapon near him.
Yeah, I'm still gonna zip tie his hands
Okay.
before I start working on him.
He shrieks in pain.
he shrieks in pain, and start assessing the wound and try to render first aid and keep him from dying as best I can.
Okay, so he has, so like, just think of like, you know, just a steel stairwell, right?
Yeah.
With the railings that you're holding on to. Picture
Yeah.
one of those railings, you know, twisted up and then shoved through someone's torso. So that's what he has going on.
All right, so it's just gonna be, yeah, I know it hurts. Be quiet. Stop squirming. Hold still.
Spits in your face.
I am trying to render the medical assistance. Do you want to die or get healed?
Fuck off.
That is a very bold thing to say in the face of death. Are there any other ones that are alive?
No, not that you can see.
You're very lucky you're the only one left, because I would leave you to die at this point. And then I'm going to get to work on him and try and stabilize him. Probably not remove the shrapnel, just seal it up to stop hemorrhaging.
Okay. So you have a kit, right?
Yes.
You have a medical kit? Yeah. So you have like this sort of this little teeny like PPK looking gun thing, and it's basically like spray foam all around the injury, and that sort of seals it up, and he's no longer bleeding externally anyway from it. So yeah, you stabilize him for the moment.
Now then, that you're no longer bleeding to death, I realize maybe you would blame us for that situation. That would be understandable. But we have questions to ask, and I'm hoping you answer in exchange for, you know, your life.
What are your questions?
What are you guys doing here? We were going to have a nice party. I was going to help in the kitchen. We were going to make something very nice.
Data recovery.
Oh, yeah, you mean the bioweapon that you guys were planning to use to, you know, imitate terrorist attacks to justify future contracts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. They don't tell you anything. They never do. They send you here to die, and then they brainwash you to blame us for this situation.
What do you want?
We want to know how many of your men are in the structure that they took our friends into. We want to know what their positions are, and we want to know the name of the commander.
Only if you bring me on your ship.
Yeah, fine. We can do that. That would be equitable. You're going to be heavily restrained and, you know, in a lot of pain for a while. You might want to just wait for the authorities to come and pick you up. I will leave that up to you, though.
Keep me on your ship. Don't tell them I'm there, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Okay. I just want to let you know, my friend here is going to do a sweep for trackers and bugs and, you know, subdermal implants that make you explode before we bring you on. So, is there anything you want to tell me before we do that?
You just hear his jaw click, and then he says no.
Okay, I'm going to be running away now. Goodbye.
Where are you going?
I don't like clicks from jaws after discussions of, you know, bombs that have been implanted.
Oh, don't. I was turning it off.
Oh, really? Sure. Yeah. See, this was one of those trust things, and I don't trust you now.
I'm telling you the truth.
Brian, can you scan him from, you know, safe distance?
Yeah, I'll leave from the piloting position and go back and get some of the like surveillance material or surveillance gear that I have, and try to patch it through the ship to extend like the scanning radius. Try to see what this guy has going on.
Sure. So you sort of get a not an X-ray, but you can sort of see like the basically how he's wired up. You can see this sort of like device in his mouth, and basically all along his spine is just lit up with you don't know what,
like energy or something like that, or like
just yeah, it's just sort of on your scan, it just sort of picks up this glow just along his spine and then into his head, and then his you can see that there's something in his mouth.
But yeah, do I get the sense if that is powered on or off, or I just see that there's a presence?
No, you just see a presence of something, but
okay.
that you're about 80% sure that nothing's going to go off.
So sort of clean bill of health.
I'll run a private intercom message between the both of us to basically communicate that.
Okay.
Sense in. No.
So. All right. So I'm super cautious about this guy because.
Yeah, I would be too. I don't know if we need him though. I mean, he clearly doesn't know that much information.
But he knows enough to be scared to tell us, which makes me think it might be at least worth trying.
I mean, he doesn't have much of a bargaining chip.
No, but we can't always just leave him to die if we don't like what he has to say.
I'm
a little
saying,
murder hobo-y, but yeah.
I think that he should give us some very compelling information and reasons to bring him into our ship, especially what he has wired in his body.
Okay, Mr. Man, I forgot to ask your name. What is it?
George.
George! That is super strong traditional name. I like it. Well, we're gonna do a little tit for tat. So first, you're gonna say "ah," and I'm gonna disable the switch that's in your mouth.
It's not that simple, but okay.
I'm gonna make it real simple with a scalpel.
Okay.
And he's probably gonna hurt him a lot.
Yeah, he almost bites your finger off while you do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you removed his the back 2 molars.
Yeah. Don't worry, we can get you new ones. I'm sure it's fine. Sorry about that.
I'm interested in those too. Yeah.
That's a little morbid. So yeah, now we've got that out of the way, just let's start off with what's your commander's name, then we take you to the ship. And then you tell us everything else, and we provide shelter and life savings for you.
I don't know his name.
Do you know his serial number? Is he a fucking robot?
It's, first captain. That's what we call him.
First captain. That's so impersonal. Don't they believe in, being able to identify chain of command?
Can you get me into the fucking ship, please, before I pass out?
Yeah, fine. God. And so, yeah, we'll drag him into Talon and get him up. Okay. I think our plan is we'll fly Talon back into the Outrageous Fortune, get him into the med bay, further medically stabilize him, and then totally restrain the shit out of him.
Okay.
Don't tell Kyra that we used Talon to take some.
No, she's gonna see the odometer. She's gonna know. There's no use hiding it.
Can we put it in reverse somehow?
All the blood.
All
the blood.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kyra. I will come back with hose later. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we get George back to the med bay.
George? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So you're on the Outrageous Fortune. You're in the med bay.
Want to make sure he's restrained. The device he's got implanted is disabled, and he's medically stabilized, so he's not going to die in the next 24 hours. That's what I want to achieve.
Right.
Can I just do that, or do I have to roll for that?
No, I have to roll for that. And that's our expertise with your...
Yep.
I'm going to do a more thorough scan once he's stabilized, I guess.
Okay. And I do have surgery, and since this is my med bay, I can...
Right.
It's fairly extensive in terms of what I can accomplish. So that's a 8.
8. So what are you doing exactly?
So I want to make sure he's not going to bleed to death. So we're probably going to try and remove the shrapnel once he's stable, and then do the medical thing that makes that less bad. I don't know that much. My army medical training was always just keep them from bleeding to death now until a medic gets here.
Right.
Tourniquet.
Yeah. So I don't know how you would do that. But Sam does, and he does that.
Okay.
And he's going to also try and make sure that there isn't a way for whatever his implant is to be remotely
Detonated or whatever.
activated. I don't know what it is. And I don't want to try and get rid of it. I just want to make sure it's going to stay off.
Okay. Yeah, so you're successful. So what you do, so you have them on your table, and on your table you have like a sort of a computer panel, and you sort of physically remove the shrapnel, and then you're in there assisted by sort of AI assisted, robotic arms to tie off arteries and stop the bleeding and cauterize and sew stuff up. As far as the device that was in his head, that's you took that out, it's disabled, and then were you gonna scan?
Just to see what's along his spinal column.
Yep.
And to see what. Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I don't think you have the roll for that. So that basically is just sort of a what you can tell is just this sort of implanted sort of communications device that what you can tell sort of communicates biometric data. It just transmits it on a certain frequency. Basically, organ function. Basically, status of him. And
so whatever.
And also, and in addition, it's communications.
So did the removing the tooth disable it, or
no? That was something else.
Okay. So he's still being monitored. Is it possible to find out if his location is being monitored too, or just his vitals?
You would assume that it's all of the above. Location.
I'll communicate that too. So we don't want to be carting this guy around because GSS is going to be able to track us.
Can we? Is there a way for you to get in and disable the system, or at least trick it into thinking that he's dead?
I was thinking about like spoofing it and like leaving it somewhere, and just leaving it with the rest of his people, like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
To transmit his signal or whatever, and leave it with the rest of the people. And try to do that.
Okay. So that would be interface, right?
And I can.
Yeah, sounds like interface.
Try to, if I need to, get bits and pieces while he's stabilizing him, or doing medical stuff. I can try to get it from the Jello goopy crash pod victims. If I need to get other like remains or remnants in order to make a fake fake broadcast of his system.
Yeah, so basically you think you can do it pretty simply. You just basically taking the what it's transmitting and recording it, and you can throw it on just like almost like a thumb drive that you have, and you think that would transmit the same frequency. Okay.
Let's see how successful it is. 9.
Nice. Very good. You think you have it. It's in you test it out and you ping your own device and it appears to be working.
Okay. Check it with the other corpses and then just tell. And is George back around? Is he stable or is he conscious?
He's stable and he's very loosely conversing with you.
Congratulations, George. You are dead. At least as far as your employers are concerned.
Thank you.
Yeah, so early retirement, that sounds great. But, you know, if you don't want them to come down and repossess the ship and you in the process, we need as much information as we can about your former comrades who have our friends so that we can resolve this situation in a... so that we can get it resolved. I'm not going to make any promises about violence or non-violence. Probably violence.
What do you want now?
So we know you don't know your commanders' names. That's fine. Impersonal, corporate, I get it. That's not cool, but hey. It's the world we live in. How many men in each of those little drop pod things?
20.
20 men each. Okay, so we have maybe 20 men with our friends.
40, right? Because there were two dropships.
Well, there were two, and then...
oh, we killed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 were KIA on impact.
Okay.
And we took care of the other 19, so yeah. So 20... What was the name? What was the title of your leader again? I'm sorry. You told me this, but I have bad memory.
It's the first captain.
First captain, yeah.
As we're talking, I'll try to tap into the surveillance of the dome too, just to see if I can get like closed circuit footage of. I guess it wouldn't be closed circuit if I'm tapping into it, but some kind of like video footage or audio footage of what's going on inside there. And
Okay. We have to roll for that.
okay. I did not do that, so I got a 5.
Yeah, you access denied.
Okay. Alright, sorry, chewing. So, George, work with me here. I know you're not the first captain, but let's reference your doctrine. If an extraction team is cut off from support and they have retrieved some of their targets, what would you do?
The mission was to gather the data and then destroy it. So, I think we're mission accomplished, don't you think?
That, I mean, that's all a matter of opinion. I'm not telling you the status of the data. I know we are becoming fast friends, George, but there are limits.
how is the rest of the team going to leave once they've accomplished their mission?
Well, that doesn't look like we're going anywhere anytime soon, so, I don't think we're leaving. At least, they're not leaving.
Yeah, this might be a sticky situation for them. Are you aware of who they kidnapped in the middle of all this?
Yeah, they pulled data off some recordings off some moon. And we identified them, and we have them in custody in the dome.
Yes, those are our friends. So, yeah, we's the bad guys who hit you in the bad place, and etc., etc. I mean, you also kidnapped the planetary governor.
Well, complications, I'm sure they'll work it out.
Yeah, that's not your problem anymore, is it, George?
You're welcome.
Yes, you are so welcome. So, yeah, things is very ugly for them, and we will do our level best to make it uglier. And if you want, you can come along with us to the next place that isn't here. Does that sound good?
It does.
All right. I would say stay put, but you currently don't have any choice. So, I bid you auf Wiedersehen.
So Cindy's she comes into the med bay, and she says, "You have company?"
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting GSS to come back out to try to retrieve data from the ship.
Yeah.
So she says, "No, it's not. It's not GSS. It's It's the planetary security forces. They're on their way over.
Did they say what they're interested in?
No, but you hear a bunch of thuds outside the ship, and you just assume that it's security forces landing.
All right, we should probably go out and greet them amicably, because ostensibly we're on the same side here.
It's hard to tell whether or not what terms Emera was on with her father, and whether or not her father would flip in order to keep good business ties or good relations with GSS.
I don't know. I don't think he would call GSS Poochkins. So, I'm gonna bet they're on our side. They might be hostile. They might need some convincing, but I think at the end of the day, they're on our side. Sort of.
Mind if I stay in here?
You know what? That's probably okay. Cindy, you want to come out with me and maybe try to smooth things over?
Sure, let's go.
All right.
She was probably going to be the resident expert on these guys anyways.
Yeah.
As far as knowing how they handle business, what their disposition is.
Yeah, so I think I might pick her brain on the way down, find out, are these guys gonna be like hostile to us, or are they just gonna be foaming at the mouth because the governor just got kidnapped?
They probably have no idea what's going on, so just do what they say.
Okay. I'm gonna leave my weapons inside the ship before I go out.
Okay.
So trusting.
Hey, I don't want them confiscated.
Yeah, that's another good point.
Okay, so you descend from their ship, and you walk out, and those ships they throw their spotlights on you, and you hear from this electronic megaphone, get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head.
Gonna do exactly that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get shot.
They do that, and you have your face to the side, and you just see Boots walking up to you, and they grab you, and you see them grab Cindy, and they just drag you to their ships, and they also board the Outrageous Fortune.
Oh, can I? I'm gonna attempt to disable the.
So how do you know that they're boarding the Outrageous Fortune? You're monitoring?
I did set up surveillance.
Okay.
Yeah, he does have the surveillance suite installed.
Okay, so I mean, you already have full access to the ship. So if you want to control some aspect of the ship, then
I'll just try to disable the lift to bring them back up into the ship.
Okay, yeah. So they're standing there, and they're pressing the up button, and nothing's happening. So they
just kind of waited out to see.
Yeah, they you see them talking their helmets, and he waves someone over, and then 4 people from the ship just walk over, and they just use their jump jets, and they just go off, and they're in the cargo bay.
There is that hole in there.
You got 4 of them inside the ship walking around. They drag you and Cinny and their commander stares at you. Who the fuck are you, and what are you doing here?
Hello, I'm Samson Vaughn. I am a friend of the governor's daughter. We were here for a social call, and we were very rudely interrupted by,
So in the middle of your speech, he sees Cinny and sort of stiffens and totally disregards what you're saying and helps her up.
Okay, yeah, good day.
So she explains that you're here to visit, and these things, GSS came, and so he says, "So what's the plan?"
Well, we have been working on it a little bit. We believe there are up to 20 armed assailants in possession of the governor. in his mansion. I assume they are fortifying the place and make themselves ready to repel an attack because they know they are cut off. So unless there's a significant GSS presence on site, you know, they are not expecting relief. Mm-hmm. Is there GSS forces on planet who would be able to assist them?
No, there's no GSS here.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. So, well, okay, that's also kind of bad because that means they will be super desperate.
I'm surprised they got through. I saw the footage, and there were a lot more of those drop pods than got through.
Yeah, I mean the one over there. Oof, you do not look inside. It is soup. It's kind of soup.
So, our plan is to assault the dome and take them out.
Well, that sounds super overt and full of the collateral damage. Are you sure that's the best way to proceed, Commander?
Do you have a better idea?
Well, you know, I would like to take 5 minutes to spitball a little bit. But, I mean, currently no.
So,
I'm gonna wait in I'm gonna wait in the soundproof victim transport and not lock it. I'm just gonna like hide.
Okay. They don't find you.
Yeah.
What's the maximum occupancy on that? Because like we're stacking up the bodies that go in there.
Oh, we do have something.
Is there someone in there? Who's in there? I forget.
Tanaka.
That's right.
Tanaka's in there. George might want to, you know, hitch a ride in there.
So you're just like, eh.
Just poke his face a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, that's in the plans too, to collect on Tanaka.
I think at this point I'll radio up to Warren and let him know that, you know, they aren't, you know, handcuffing us and putting in the back of their space police cruisers.
I'll just tell them it didn't look very promising when you left the ship.
Yeah, but these things happen, and it's not what you know, it's who you know, and Cindy is apparently respected, so...
Okay. I'll keep Tanaka's slowly cooling corpse in... no.
Well, it's not a corpse,
No,
it's just,
he's
it's
alive.
not very active right now.
So I'll go out and address the security troops in the outrageous fortune.
Okay. Yeah, they bring you over to...
Okay. So, yeah, we've got a real situation here. The police commander, he wants to do the whole frontal assault, massive firefight, you know, in large numbers of innocent bystanders and all that. And, like, I don't have much better idea, but I feel like we should have better idea.
If there are ventilation systems in the dome, are there other ways I might be able to find a way to either vent things in through the ventilation system if you guys have something to like knock people out, or just close off air for a while? That's risky for everybody, but it's a way to
Yeah, his dome is
give an upper hand.
it's a closed system. If we can change the atmosphere inside the entire dome, even if it's only gradual, it could have an effect.
That's also, you know, putting our crew in danger too, because
Yeah.
And if we put the GSS troops in a desperate situation, that doesn't give them little reason to keep them alive.
Yeah, that does read kind of like line in report saying, and at that point the hostages were executed.
But then again, a firefight could have the same result.
So I think I want to see if Cindy knows anything about the facility that could help us, or the estate that could help us. Does the governor have like a panic room or a place his security team would take people if things got really messy? Like if we could create a distraction and let them get away that would get them there so that they'd be safe.
I think he does have a place like that, but I'm not sure he's in any position that would allow him to get there without knowing what's going on inside.
Is there any automated security?
I'm sure there is.
That might be an
But
option.
maybe we start with accessing cameras and whatnots, just to assess situations.
So you already tried,
Yeah.
and you failed.
I was locked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I can see
However-
the security group has access to it.
Yes.
Is there a way to target the GSS troops with any kind of automated security, in lieu of going in and kicking in the door and
What do you mean, like gun turrets in the ceiling, sort of thing?
yeah, or something. I don't know. Yeah.
No, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
Cindy says there's nothing like that. So.
Okay.
What about area surveillance? Dome is transparent, yeah? Dome is transparent, yes?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I gotta get it under control.
I perfectly understood what you were trying to say. Yeah.
Right, but that was supposed to be out of character. I have the opposite of the say it in character voice problem.
That's
Right.
funny.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's fine. It's yeah. As far like transparent, as far as like you can wave to them and then they wave back.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
Oh, so there's like a privacy field or something in place.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
So
the governor's mansion, so
they can see out, or
You don't know.
okay,
like one-way mirror.
yeah.
So.
No, that's cool. I mean, because it's the governor's estate, so
Yeah,
obviously
that
that's
makes sense.
And
Have a little privacy.
as far as the estate goes, just for how large it is, it's just picture this block,
okay.
right?
Mhm.
But circular. It's pretty large.
Yeah, so messing with the gas would be like a multi-day affair, probably.
Yeah.
And not to mention secondary and tertiary
Life support backup
life support,
systems.
filtration, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's shitty. And I really don't want to mess this place up too bad. I was looking forward to this dinner party.
Is there any opening that's big enough to fit the Talon through?
No, it's just a dome pretty much in front of you.
But I mean, we could make opening, but
That could be an option, because I don't know if they were carrying anything big enough to do a lot of damage to the Talon.
I would be concerned. I don't think we can go in there with impunity.
Yeah.
Just because if they have any emplaced heavy weapons, that could pose a threat to it. And then, even if we survive, then Kyra kills us.
Yes.
Alright, so gas is not an option. Surveillance is not an option.
Well, they said they have access to
No, they can see inside.
Okay, so we can get some idea of their
Yeah,
locations at
they
least.
can hack in since it's their planet.
Okay, so they've got a
Protecting
back door.
Their
for...
governor, yeah, they can get in.
Okay, that makes sense. Then yeah, maybe what we want to do is we want to confer with the team that has access to that and figure out where the troops are all set up within the estate, and then we come up with a plan of attack from there. It's got to be some sort of overt action. I don't see a
and
way
then
to do this.
Are there
covertly.
multiple ways to enter the dome?
So there's the catwalk that goes to doors, right?
Mhm.
And then there's sort of a ledge sort of catwalk that goes all the way around. And then there was the stairwell that no longer exists that was underneath that goes up to the bottom.
That could be an option, is to split people and have two people going in, and then that way two groups going in, and then that way they could either divide their 20-man group. How many people do they have on security? How many people are with the security group?
Right now, there's like 60 people.
Okay.
It
doesn't really matter.
So compared to the GSS, are they like approximately equal, or are these poorly trained rent-a-cops?
These are not as militaristic as.
Okay,
as
so
you're
any
used to.
engagement would need to be tightly controlled or
Yeah.
limited in duration.
Yeah, these are farmers with pistols.
Okay, so maybe so what we want to do is we want to get more information. We want to spend some time studying the security to see if there's a hole in their defensive perimeter or a way in that they weren't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're not defending, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. Is we want to spend some time doing that. Would that be like an assessment role, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, assessment.
Okay.
And so I think they walk you inside of a one of their ships, and they have you tapped in to the grid, and you sort of bring up schematics and sensor data and then footage of what's going on inside. So in the dome, it's set up like there's basically all around the perimeter of the dome is just like gardens, right? And in the center of the dome is just like a massive structure that's sort of set up like an H. Okay, so on either side, so like the vertices, the vertical of the H is basically building, and then you have one story in the middle, in between, and then a second floor in the middle, and you have you have columns all the way around, and it's basically set up like a garden and a luxury estate inside. And you can see in the footage that the opposite side of the dome, they don't see out. It's a reflection of a blue sky with clouds.
Oh, so they don't see out either. That's good to know.
Did we get any sense of their defensive perimeter? Like,
yep. So they have set up these. They're sort of like turrets. So every like 50 meters on the perimeter, there's one of these turrets that's just sort of, slowly rotating, basically scanning for people coming in. And then on the roof of this building, at those four corners, there's you can tell there's a person up there, and then the rest of them are inside the sort of the central structure.
they're just dug in and holding out until a rescue option, or like a rescue.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the best option. Either that or eventually negotiate something.
They do have the governor.
It seems like a good chip to play.
Yeah.
Chip to bet with.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a Malafor. Sorry. So, is there anything? Are there any outside access points to the dome, like at the top, or is it the same material from the base all the way up?
It's the same material from the base all the way up, and on the outside, it's sort of like this orange goldish material,
Mm-hmm.
and from talking to the people that are there, it's just sort of this lattice support structure that's hold this skin up that prevents permeation of the the agricultural gases that they use into the dome, and then sort of the sky that's reflected. Think Truman Show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's just like this screen that projects.
Okay. So then maybe a possible point of entry is to fly up directly on top of the dome, quietly cut our way in, and then rappel down onto the roof of the building.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can arrange something with the cops, the local cops, to support us in that, to get us up there and give us the equipment to do that, that might be our way to go.
Well, we will support you, and we could also help with a distraction.
That's a very good idea. You're going to want to be very careful because we've identified all these turrets. You want to make any engagement localized around point of entry and not push in. If you push in, all your men become hamburger. Yeah, very good for the local greenery of the gardens, but not so good for their families.
That's a very good point. Thank you.
Yeah, I try to help. So yeah, that'd be okay. So that's our tentative plan of attack.
That's great. Yeah.
And it pushes us far enough into the dome that we at least manage to mostly avoid the turrets. Like if we manage to get to the governor and all our friends, then we can find. Hopefully, he can lead us to the panic room Cindy mentioned, and then if we manage to get to there and hole up, at that point, the GSS guys have no, they have no bargaining chips anymore, and it's basically just a matter of time before they get killed or surrender. So hopefully their first captain isn't a retard. So does that sound like a good plan of attack?
Yeah, I was just trying to think.
Is there anything else we can do to tip the things further in our favor?
Were we able to see where our crew was on the surveillance?
You could just see sort of a mass of heat signatures in the sort of the central building on the second floor.
So everybody was together in that one area. It looked like okay.
The turrets, are they all local and automated as far as we can tell, or is there a command and control center?
From what you can see, they're just stationary and on their own.
They're not manned. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could probably try to disable those.
Yeah, if there was like a single command center for that, and we could like turn them all against their own guys.
I was thinking about that too, but I don't know how they would discriminate between our guys and their guys though. So.
Well, they don't need to. You need to eliminate the friend part of IFF. But yeah, even if it was just doing that to one or two turrets near the point of attack for the cops, for their distraction,
yeah,
that could be a big help.
Okay. So, when do you want? Should we do this now, or
Well,
should we wait for like some demands or something? That's what happens, right?
yeah, that's what all the holovids say. Is, this goes a little bit, and then they issue demands, and then there's negotiations that are very tense, but also very dramatic. But we can always kick in the door whenever we want.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
They might be surprised too, if, instead of.
Yeah. Like, because they've had a little time to set up, enough to get the turrets in place, but not enough to, like, really bunker down and get to know
and contact us to make demands.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what we use to help with the distraction. Is we've got George's communications equipment, so maybe we could give that to the commander of the police to start negotiations, and then the second those turn sour, he can launch his diversion.
do we have George's communication?
Do we have George's communication?
I thought it was all internal.
Yeah, it was all internal.
Oh, it was all
Yeah,
internal.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
Yep.
Well, I wanted to steal his headset, but whatever.
No headsets. It's all surgically implanted into him.
Well, am I able to remotely access the outrageous fortune from my location?
Sure.
I'm gonna disable everything just in case.
In
Remotely disable everything to take off and turrets and things. I guess
like in the outrageous fortune.
Yeah.
Just shut it down.
Just put it on lockdown so that we can't take off until we're all back.
Yes, and if George decides to stabilize and gets his wits about him to not.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of zip ties involved.
Yeah, I'm pretty distrustful though.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
In general,
that's fair. I'm okay with that.
Playing true to character. Yeah.
So.
Distrusting, not distrustful. Make that work.
The last session, right? So you rolled like a 13 to like gain access to the outrageous fortune systems and stuff like that, and sort of keep an eye on Emra and what she was doing, sort of subvertly, and then you were gonna put in like your own sort of surveillance stuff.
That's what I was doing when they were on mission, I guess.
Right. So Sam doesn't know that you have that ability, right?
I didn't say it to them.
Right. So
yeah, he wouldn't notice.
Right. All right. So
and I tried to make it look like the rest of the things that were there on the ship. You know?
So. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So it's not like what's that random video camera doing there?
Sure. big.
Maybe what we do is we tell the police commander that the commander of the GSS, his rank is first captain. So if you want to open a dialogue, address him that way. You know, just put him off a little bit.
Sure.
And
while we're sneaking in,
while we're getting ready to get into place, just in case they have any sort of external surveillance that they're using.
Okay.
As a distraction, and then once we're in position, they can begin their assault.
Okay. Sounds good.
And when we're staged to get ready to rappel down into the dome, I'll see if I can remotely access the turrets to either disable. I don't know. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to disable them or have them turn inward.
Okay.
But I don't want to like shoot up our guys.
So the police forces have offered you the use of a jump pack, so that you're not like rappelling on ropes.
Okay.
So you can get down easier.
All right. So we'll cut in and then jet down, drop the packs, and go from there.
Yeah. Now, what's going on?
So we have a plan in place. We're going to get airlifted up to the top of the dome. We're going to quietly cut into it while
What are you cutting into it with?
We weren't specific about that.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
We can see if the security forces have tools. Otherwise, you probably have surgical tools that could work.
Yeah. How thick is the dome? You described it as like a mostly atmospheric.
No, it's not built for defenses. So it's just this thin membrane on top of a steel like lattice support, and then there's the interior sort of, I don't know, 3-inch thick sort of display.
So how well would it stand up to having a Samson Vaughn dropped on it?
Like you could probably, from a good height.
Okay.
From a good height, 20 feet. Like if you just drop through, you'd get like halfway in before you were stuck.
With the legs kicking.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need something with a little more force. Hopefully quiet to, not ruin the whole diversion aspect. We have to have some sort of cutting tools on board the Outrageous Fortune for welding, hull repair.
Oh yeah, for repairs, plasma torches, blah blah Like there's two of you guys that have repair kits, engineer kits, and stuff.
Okay, so we'll commandeer one of those, and we'll bring that up with us so that we can cut in, hopefully without too much difficulty after we get dropped on the very top of the dome.
Okay.
We'll cut a hole in it. We'll drop down. We use the jump jets, the disposable jump jets, the police provide us with, and we land on the roof, and from there we move on the most likely position that our friends are being held and stage a rescue.
Are the turrets within range? Are they set up far enough away that if I were to turn them inward, that they would be able to reach? Based on but we had the heat signature footage.
Right. You without hacking into them specifically at this point, you don't know like what their range is and what they can and can't do.
So I'm gonna try to hack into them, and then I can figure out whether or not what's the best course of action, to disable them or to
from outside the dome, because you're outside right now, or like while you're.
Well, so there were people that were staged on the roofs. That's what in the original description. There were people that were staged on the roofs
of the building. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to land on them and fuck them up.
So this building is set up sort of like an H structure, right? So if you're going to come down the middle, you're going to end up in that the middle of an H
crossbar. Yep.
Right. Yeah. On the second floor, on the second story of this building, the H, the up and down part of the H, right, is just one story, and there's people on the roof there, and there was, when you last looked, someone on the second story roof.
Okay.
So
is there a skylight?
Yes, there's a skylight.
Oh! Dynamic entry, baby. Just fucking go straight through it.
Okay. Well, while he's diving down, I'm going to quickly attempt to disable.
Well, I think we're still at the planning stage, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I think if we execute that dynamic entry through the skylight directly onto the second floor, not onto the roof, and then move as fast as possible.
So how many of the police forces do you want to come with you? Like, because you'd be jumping into like, 10 to 15 people.
Yeah.
Maybe
not a ton, but I think like 4 to try and at least take out the ones on the roof so that they aren't coming in behind us, and then they can establish a field of fire.
60 people though. They said they have 60 people. Even if we had like 20 with us, they could still storm in both sides, like 20 to each side.
Yeah, I'd say we'd leave it up to the commander. He can give us as many guys as he wants.
Okay.
If he thinks this is a good plan, he wants to commit his guys to, we'll let them come in behind us and bring up our rear.
Okay.
And I'll totally slow play it like it is the governor, Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have another one, in store, right?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Maybe this is an important operation.
You know how
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You know how these outer rim planets are run, ran. I've had too much to drink.
That's why I switched to straight Coke, man.
Nice, that's good. Good
how
choice.
they are running.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's a solid plan.
Okay.
So
that's what I love about these games so much. You spend like 45 minutes planning and like 2.5 minutes of execution.
You win!
The DM agrees that it was a good plan. It succeeded.
You're all dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh well.
Well, let's just see how you roll.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. So I assume we're a go. We launch. We're up at the top, and we start cutting in. We get through as the diversion starts, I assume.
Yeah. So you're hovering about 10 feet above the structure, and you sort of use your jump jets to softly land, and the team with you, there's about you have 5 accompanying you, and there's another squad on the ship waiting to jump behind you to take care of the guys on the roof.
Yeah.
As you start cutting, they have forces attacking from underneath and also on either side, on the sides of the dome for distractions.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'll attempt to disable the turrets before the distracting forces
That's not something I can do.
come in.
Alexa,
Sorry,
chill the fuck out.
Wow. Sorry, that's not something you can do.
Shut up, Alexa. So I'm going to attempt to disable the turrets before they come in, so they don't just get lit up from the automatic turrets.
Okay.
If I am able to do that.
Yep. Interface, please.
Uh, 11.
11. Wow.
Ooh.
Right.
Those dice are hot.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. So you have access to the turret systems.
So quickly, am I able to figure out whether or not I'm able to target? I'm able to target certain. I'm able to establish targets with the turrets.
No, these
or is
are
it just like a range?
these are just sort of ranged. The range is set at about 50 meters, and it's just based on motion. So anything that moves is going to get lit up by it.
I feel like
Oh, so their guys know to stay out of that. So, like, really all we can do is
Disable
switch
them.
them off.
yeah, I'm good with disabling them.
Okay, you're going to turn them all off?
Yeah.
Okay. There you are, off.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right, so I guess we finish cutting through, and then
Screw you guys, GSS.
Okay.
go,
So-
go, go, go.
All right, so you're the first through?
Fuck yeah!
Okay. And your plan is to just drop straight down? And
Drop
then,
straight down, hit jump jets at the last possible second, so that I slam through the skylight and gingerly alight upon
Okay.
the ground of the second floor.
So I want you to let's do roll plus physique.
Okay.
Okay. Just to
Fuck. This is 6.
oh no. Okay, so you
God damn it. Like I had +2 there.
you so a hole's been cut.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the skylight. It's about 75 feet below you. And you have your jump pack on, and you just slow-mo jump out of the of your gunship, right? And you're going straight down, and it's getting closer, and you sort of tuck into a ball to hit it, and instead of busting through it like you think you're going to bust through it, it's just thud.
Oh fuck, it's like bulletproof glass or some shit.
Yeah, you just bounce off.
So how fucked up am I?
Hold on a sec. I have the thing here. That's not what I want.
What is dead? What is dead? What is dead?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't start slinging around the D word.
So because I'll give you a minor injury, okay?
Okay.
So because you have the jump jets, well no, you're gonna go through. Yeah, I'll give you a minor injury.
In his defense, he did say that he was gonna slam on the jump jets before he made impact, just enough to push through.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give you a minor injury.
Okay.
Your knee is very, 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 very painful at the moment. Right knee. You jammed that thing pretty good.
Ouch.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So where are you at?
I'm grimacing in his defense.
Sympathetic wincing.
At the thick thudding noise against the ballistic glass. I'm going to. I'll attempt to go down also, and I'll maybe shoot a couple plasma bolts through the laser rifle, or laser bolts through the laser rifle to try to ruin the integrity of the glass before.
Sure.
Or,
so you're gonna go.
You know, actually, I'll just probably try to land and then cut through the rest. I'm probably not gonna. I'm not up for all that heroics. So I'll just attempt to land next to his, injured self and cut through the rest of the glass.
Okay. Yeah. So you take a couple shots at the.
I'll just land and cut it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. You take land, take a couple shots at it, and it breaks apart. You got a pretty good crack at it with your.
I loosened it.
Yeah. So yeah, you can make entry now if you like.
I mean, gently. Yeah. So we're gonna just rely on the forces coming in behind us to take care of the guys on the roof and the ones on the ground near the edge of the roof.
Sure.
That would be visible from the edge of the roof. And we're just gonna go straight through the skylight. Okay. As we originally intended.
Yes, as you intended.
Somewhat later.
All right. So as you make your way through, the other squad that was on standby is making their way down behind you to come with you. So you are sort of in this sort of wide open space. It has windows overlooking the garden below, and basically you have the wing to your left and the wing to your right, and going off what you saw previously, they're all off to your right.
All right. So if that's the location, we want to just push in hard and fast, I think.
Okay.
Not sure.
We have the 5 guys that are coming with us,
Yep.
and the other folks are just basically providing security.
Yep. But Sam will take point with his shotgun.
Okay.
And I'll follow up with the laser. What's Cinna up to?
I assume she's smart and staying back with the police commander.
No, she's with you.
Oh, she's coming with. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's cool. Oh, you're with us. That's great.
Atta girl.
You're looking for some of the old action, yeah?
So that going on the right side, there's just a massive door. It's like 10 feet tall. A double door opens up bifold.
Mm-hmm.
Not bifold. What is that? What's that? Like that.
It's double doors.
Yeah, double doors.
Yeah, double doors opening.
That's what I imagined.
Yeah, exactly.
Bifold is like if you have.
I know what bifold is. Thank you.
Okay. I just needed to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page.
On the same page. They're not bifold.
Next time I hear bifold, I'll know what that means.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Like a 70s retro,
Yeah.
futuristic.
Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah. So you open the doors and there's shag carpet everywhere.
Nice.
You push your way through the bead curtain doorway. The interior is lit by lava lamps.
The disco ball is very distracting.
But it reflects lasers.
So anyway, double door in front of you. What do you do?
Fire the laser at the disco ball.
Which laser?
I don't know. Sorry. Okay, so we think they're on the other side of that?
Yes.
All right, so I think we're just going to get ready and we're going to kick in the door and just go hard.
Okay.
It's a big metallic door,
No, it's wood.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fuck it up when
Nice.
we're ready.
Okay.
And so we just want to check to make sure our other guys behind us are good.
Yep, they're good.
Thumbs
Go
up.
with your
Thumbs
left
up.
leg, Sam. Go with your left leg.
Yeah, I'm limping a little bit, but fight through the pain. Fight through the pain. I want to have that dinner party. So I think Sam's personal objective is he is gonna try and figure out as soon as the doors open who the first captain is, if he's there, and go straight at him.
Okay.
Ready? Feel ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Boom! And we go in.
Okay.
So, is this a launch assault?
Yeah, launch assault.
Alright.
And then assuming I can assist with that.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yep.
All right, let's see how this goes. All right, so that's an 8.
An 8.
So if you want to assist, you could
Make it a
potentially
partial
make that a
success.
full success.
Ooh.
So this is going to be plus physique.
Ooh. That's a straight roll. 8 also.
Okay, so get involved. Partial success. So you can
choose
increase
one
the
on
cost,
2+.
but it's as you incur a cost, complication,
or
or
a hard choice in order to get involved. All right.
Yeah. I feel like these are the hardest situations. I can offer some ideas too. Like, he could have Lobos or one of our crew members. The first captain could have Lobos or one of our crew members, like as a human shield or whatever. Like that might be.
So you guys bust open the door, right? And you do this with explosives supplied by the police forces. Upon its shattering open, you see the scene. Off in the in this room, it goes off to the right, and in the right corner is your crew. Everyone's over there, just sort of huddled in the corner, and various. There's about 12 GSS scattered throughout the room, just guns in hand, and then you have sort of in front of you is the first captain talking with Mr. Lieutenant of Finances and Acquisition.
Okay.
Right? So as you're going through the door, you see one of the GSS react to your entry off your right side and bring his weapon up. At the same time, you see Sam moving through the room, and he's about to trigger a tripwire. What do you do?
I'll call out to him, and I'll just I'll point and I'll tell him that there's a trap there.
Okay. So roll brace for impact.
Okay. What is that plus?
Whatever your armor rating is, if you have one.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's. Yeah. That's a straight roll. Nine.
So that's you just suffer the injury at the severity.
There you go. Okay, brace for impact. So when you would suffer harm, the GM will tell you the severity: minor, major, severe, critical, or fatal. Roll plus armor. So 7 to 9, you suffer an injury of that severity. You tell Sam to watch out for the tripwire, so you avoid it.
Yep.
So you take a severe injury, so you can mark that on your on a sheet. So healing is going to take a few days after a patch up, or treated by an hour after surgery.
Narratively, what happens?
These guys have their laser rifles. You take a shot right in the shoulder.
Okay.
And
so your calling out attracted the attention of
I see.
Okay. You take a shot in the shoulder, and you're singed pretty bad. The stench is pretty gross. It makes you nauseous. And you can't really use your right arm for anything.
So the laser rifle is two-handed.
Yep.
Does that prevent me from using it? Or?
No, I wouldn't think so. I think
it might be like a -1 if it was a
I would say you'd have to use the you would roll for clumsy.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good way to handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. Treat two-handed weapons as clumsy.
Mm-hmm. So, you rolled, right?
Yeah, so that pushes... assisted, and that got him hurt, but it pushed me up to a full success. So I'm going to go straight at the commander and either kill if I need to, but subdue, hopefully, and force him to order his men to surrender.
Okay. You do that. Do you aim to kill, or what do you want to do?
So I think I shotgun blast him in the legs to put him on the ground.
Yeah.
And then I get on top of him, put the barrel of the gun up against his head, and say, "Order your men to surrender or die."
He says, "I choose death."
I shoot him.
His brains explode on the floor.
Yeah, no hesitation. Then I move on to trying to kill any other guys in the room.
Okay, they're sort of in not shock, but they're surprised at the aggressiveness of you barging in like that.
Yeah. And I assume some of the cops are coming in behind us.
Yes, they are. Launch assault.
Okay. And that's
For both of us, or
No, you're just
okay.
You're
and that's metal.
thing. Yep. Launch assault's physique.
Is it physique? Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's a straight roll in. 10.
10. Awesome.
Nice.
So your right arm is pretty bad. So
Oh, I forgot what the mechanics for clumsy roll or clumsy.
so you're gonna roll plus physique, and I'll let you know.
Okay. Ooh, 4.
Okay. So what do you try to do?
The guys who are so you had mentioned that people are stunned at us blasting through the door and pureeing the first captain's brains across the room. And so for the people who aren't stunned and who are responding in an aggressive fashion, I will match their response and attempt to gun those guys down, like target those guys.
Okay. So you get a couple shots off, but at the same time, you that tripwire that you told Sam about, like, in your pain you forgot about it.
Oh, nice.
and you trip over it.
Nice.
Setting off a pretty big explosion at the entranceway behind you, and half of that team that was behind you
Oh no.
gets dead.
Shit. Okay.
These things happen. Sorry, guys. For the other half of you, don't report that.
So you continue your assault.
Yeah, are our shipmates responding to the situation at all?
Yes, I would assume that you know they're doing their unique abilities to assist with the situation.
Do they have their weapons though? Like
They're like totally unarmed.
No, they have no weapons.
But like if they can all dogpile on one guy, that's still a big help.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, with the rolls that you both made, you have control of the situation, and you just take out the remaining forces in that room. You hear with the remaining squad that made it through the door without being blasted to bits. They say all clear, and the forces on the roof have been eliminated.
Okay. So then we turn to the governor and say, we understand you have a panic room. We need to get there immediately.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so I instruct him to put his hand on my shoulder and follow behind me and give me directions on where to go, and I'll take point.
Okay.
Are there any survivors of GSS troops there?
No, you obliterated
They're all
them.
dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
killed them all.
Well, I mean, they might be bleeding to death, but we're not stopping to check them.
Okay.
Not at this point.
I just didn't know if there were any unshot GSS troops.
No, if you plug them.
I mean, as far as like one or two like down a hallway or something. I mean, you
No,
don't
just like in that main room.
in that no, you killed them all.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's sort of with Uncharted worlds, like when you go after a group or like an enemy,
Sure.
like it's not like 15 rolls for an individual. It's
Right.
like
it's more narrative.
If you roll the 10+ on a launch assault, then like.
Yeah, that represents that we set out to neutralize all the bad guys in the room, and like there were complications with your partial successes there.
They took more casual. The security
yeah, and like we took casualties as a response. You took a hit as a response.
Yeah.
But the fact that you bumped me up to a full success meant I was fine, and we got them all neutralized.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he directs you to an elevator that's back in that, through that blasted doorway, back into that main. He says, go down there.
All right, so I'll lead the way, and with his direction, we'll bring the crew with us. We'll bring Cindy with us, the remaining 2 cops, and we'll head down there as fast as we can. And assuming we don't encounter anything on the way, once we get there, we close the door and we contact their commander, the police commander.
Yeah, you make it down there without any resistance, and says, "What's your status?"
Yeah, so the first captain is currently without head, and we have the governor safely in the panic room, all the hostages safely in the panic room. You could probably broadcast something like your first captain is all kaput, and
turrets are disabled too.
And your turrets are all disabled. Now would be good time to surrender before dying. Okay. So I leave that up to you.
And I'll try to tap into security too. Or not security. I'll try to tap into the communication feed if I knew the GSS communication feed.
Sure.
I don't know if I need to roll for that. Probably. So. Okay.
No, because you knew because you transferred like from George, right? You already did that.
Okay.
And you know everything about.
I'm really glad. Thank you.
Yeah. That was a bad roll, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
No.
I'm gonna roll that. I hope I didn't have to roll that.
Yeah. So tapping into communications, you don't hear any communications going on at all.
Because they're only like what? Well, I don't know how many people were killed on the roof, but there were about 12 people in the room. So that's only like maybe like 4 people at tops. Like 4 people that weren't accounted for.
Right. Yeah.
If any.
So the police forces commander lets you know that they have 2 GSS that have surrendered, and they're in custody. They'll do a sweep of the property and make sure everything's good. They do that, and you are free to leave your bunker.
Okay, cool. So,
Plan for a dinner party.
just the dinner party might be delayed until tomorrow night. That's sad. I was going to make the meatloaf. I'm so excited about that.
So yeah, there you go.
So do we want to stop it there, or?
Well, let's do experience.
Yeah.
What would you have for experience?
So
I had the same as last time. I don't think that.
What was it?
It was an unexpected. Oh, sorry, an unintentional accident happens.
Yeah. You could say you tripped the tripwire. That was unintentional, and you killed.
Is that unintentional in quotes?
Accident is in quotes.
Ah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah. So we didn't engineer an accident.
No.
Mm-mm.
A life was saved, however. I finally got to not murder everybody.
There you go.
Hey, George.
Nice. So everyone mark an experience.
Yeah, so we get 1 experience from that. So are you up to 3 now?
I'm up to 3.
Nice.
Nice.
Look out.
So your next one will get you a new move.
Sweet.
Um,
And you were at. Where did you grab? Because you
One
got
or
one
2.
last time, right?
I did. I got chemistry.
Wow.
So I was
Nice.
thinking, maybe if we need to get a working sample of this biological weapon.
Nice.
I could actually make that happen.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So cool.
I think this is an interesting thread with George. Like, I feel like that there's an unknown that was injected into the story with George. I feel like there could be some potential. Doesn't need to be, you know, but like that would be a cool opportunity. We could just cut him loose on the next, you know, drop or whatever. But that was like a cool detail of this session.
Yeah, and like Sam normally doesn't like GSS too much, but if George is willing to get out in exchange for his life, then Sam wants to help him with that. So,
yeah, that was neat.
Sweet.
Or maybe he wants to sign on.
There you go.
Who knows?
So I had a question that I meant to ask at the beginning of the last one. How did Warren get in on the outrageous fortune? Like, so all of these guys are in on this ship, right? For various reasons, because they can't afford it, right? So why is Warren in on the outrageous fortune?
So part of the reason originally was to infiltrate to find out about Tanaka, but I think once I met the crew and saw that, you know, they took on this mission, and they weren't originally they were like villains. They were opposing force, but once I infiltrated the group and found out that this was one of many missions that they took, and this was a means to an end, and really the negative influence here was Tanaka. That kind of like softened me to the crew more, and it really Tanaka's really out of the picture at this point, and I think I have him in the victim transport, and he's not in as far as like my ties with GSS, like that's resolved. I think I'm waiting to see how originally I didn't know, Warren didn't know what the data was, and he was a little bit off put that it was basically like a weapon of mass destruction that GSS was going to use to like terrorize people,
Make money.
yeah, to make money. And so, you know, that was off-putting, and that kind of that pushed me to align more with the group.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. So, is that about? I think that about does it for the session. I'll
Yeah.
go hit stop here. Some